SuperSport.co.za.
There's a man called Sameehg Doutie has pulled over to speak to us as he's on his way to training with Kevin Johnson and the crew at SuperSport United. Sameehg, it's good to speak to you.
Yeah, it's good being on your show.
Sameehg,
Thanks for having me.
Sameehg, I hope that you aren't in the situation I've been in for the last 3 days with a power cut. You don't live near Centurion, do you?
No,
You're lucky. You're a very lucky man. I've had 3 days of having to go to the mother-in-law to watch the World Cup. It's been a nightmare, mate. Have you your first impressions of this World Cup? We've just spoken to Willard Katsandy. Willard is picking Belgium as and their golden generation that's suddenly emerged. What about you? Well, how do you feel about this World Cup? Which way is it going to go?
Well, you can't really predict this because, like, a lot of teams, surprise people in this World Cup. And obviously it's in South America, so I'd go for a South American team to win the World Cup.
Yeah.
Because, like, they're at home soil, they got the supporters behind them, and you can see the difference in the playing. Like, they fight for everything, they don't want to lose any one-on-one situations, they're winning all their battles. So, yeah, it's like war for them out there, because obviously they're at home, and South America is a football fanatic continent. So yeah,
I think what worries me is that I've been speaking to guys over in Brazil, 3 or 4 different people, saying that on every street corner kids are playing football, that all the dusty streets and the dusty fields guys are playing football. And that's, to me, what South Africa used to be like in the 80s when I first lived here, that everyone had a tennis ball and everyone would be able to play keepy-uppy with it. And now PlayStation 3 has taken over. Do you feel that, Sameehg? Do you feel that enough kids play football on the street now that football is still as popular and fantastic for kids as it was, a couple of 10, 15 years ago?
Well, I don't think as much as like it used to be because there's so many sports and so many things in South Africa to do. You know what I mean? There's a lot of sports, a lot of activities. Like mostly in South America, everyone's just football crazy.
Yeah.
So in Europe, everyone loves football more than anything else, and I think that's the difference in where it comes in producing young talented players, and taking the country to the next level or taking the teams to the next level. That side, because all those people, like, you go to a match, you go to a reserve team match, and the stadium's packed.
Yeah.
Where here you have a PSL match, you won't find the stadium even packed at all, or you know what I mean? People supporting football as much as those people there. In Europe, it's like they live, eat, sleep football.
Yeah.
Compared to us, you know what I mean?
I can still speak to just about anyone in this country about football, and they will know. You can go to any place you want, and if you speak, the people will know what happened in the World Cup. They'll know that Pirates have signed so-and-so. They'll know that SuperSport United have got to the cup final, that kind of stuff. So I think there's still a passion here. But you grew up in Cape Town. When you grew up in Cape Town, right, you're 25 now, so you're half my age. But when you grew up in Cape Town, was everyone playing football on the street corners? Was football the game to play? Whereabouts was it in Cape Town that you grew up?
Yeah, obviously, I grew up in Mitchells. Obviously, boys love football. The best players comes out of the townships, and because we breathe football. We'd make our poles with stones. We'd create our own poles with wood, and even use as how can I say, those onion packs, to make nets. Yeah.
And you used to make your own nets.
Yeah, we used to make our own nets and our own poles. So yeah, and we'd play 5-a-side every night. And our mom has to call us sometimes, even when we come from school. It's football all day. Our mom used to call us, scale us out, you know what I mean? Because our shoes keeps on breaking, and they're always dirty. So she has to polish them at night. And it was the next day at school, and we're just kicking the ball and, peeling our shoes most of the time.
I love it. Is that how you grew up, Sameehg? You used to come home, your mum used to crap on you because you had worn shoes, you used to use onion bags to make goal nets, and you used to find a football anywhere you could, yeah?
Fairy tale story.
Fairy tale. See, jumpers for goalposts, that's what we always call it.
Yeah.
And is it still happening? When you go back, just say again the area where you came from in Cape Town. I'm not very familiar with Cape Town.
Mitchells Plain, though.
Yeah, Mitchell's playing, which remains for Ajax Cape Town. When I speak to Roger de Saar now, having just gone there, Mitchell's playing remains a hotbed for young footballers and people coming through, and in all countries in the world, apart from Italy, someone told me once, it's the lads on the streets that get kicked from the age of 5. They can hold a tennis ball on their toe and then on the back of their shoulder. Is that still happening in Mitchell's playing, Sameehg?
Yeah, I think it's happening because they've produced a few youngsters now at Ajax also. And obviously in the townships, you find the best players, you know what I mean? Because these boys breathe soccer. It's like there's nothing else for them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And growing up struggling, they create their own tennis balls with paper, plastic, using salad tape, all those type of things, you know what I mean?
Okay, so you're reassuring me now. You're reassuring me that in South Africa there is still this huge passion for football that we used to get. When I used to go to Kwambashu, I used to go into a Tritchville. Everyone on every street corner, tennis ball and a worn set of shoes, or no shoes at all, obviously, being South Africa.
Yeah, when I come from training, there's even boys sometimes, these young boys waiting outside for us. As soon as I leave training, some of these young ones, they're shouting my name.
Yeah.
They're still passionate. They are still out there. But we have to make use of it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and we have to go find these players because we might find the next Lucas Radebe, the next Benny McCarthy, all those type of players. They're still out there. And we also still here, still working hard and,
Bloody right, Sameehg. Here's what worries me, right? And I know I'm talking a slightly different level now. I coach under 9s most Saturdays in tournaments. When you do that in Britain, some lad will walk up to you and say, "Hi, Neil, I'm from Southampton. I quite like your number 7. I said, "He's only 8. What are you looking at him for? He's only 8. Yeah, but we want to keep an eye on him. Which ones are his parents?" I don't find that happening in South Africa, around Tshwane, which is where you are. These are quite well-to-do schools. They're not your township schools, so obviously, whenever we play aside from Mamelodi, we get stuffed. But generally, I'm looking for scouts. I'm looking for Amatux, SuperSport to be there at these football tournaments, but I don't see them. Is that a problem in South Africa, the scouting?
There's many reasons,
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how clubs handle the scouting things. But like I said, if you go to Europe, there'll be a park, just created, like a park where any boy can go play soccer, whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In Europe, they have these indoor centers, these five-a-side on the streets, Then they'll have their lights. They'll play right through the night, You know what I mean? So, a boy has to play during the streets while cars is driving. Like, imagine having just a center everywhere in the townships, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or have something for the kids,
Mate, you're hitting the nail on the head. I went to Middlesbrough, which is like Polokwane is, to us. It feels like you're in the far north. And as far as the eye could see, where the old, there was an old cricket ground they got rid of, and there were just plastic pitches, all cut off, 5 or 6 aside. It cost you £3 to join, and they played football. Like you said, the teenagers would come in and they'd have a midnight football league on a Friday night to keep them off the streets and to get them involved. Are there places in South Africa that kids can go? I don't quite see it the same way. There are.
Exactly,
kids have got to have money in this country.
Exactly. Like just a tennis court. You have it like a tennis court with like just a ground, just covering the grounds, whatever. Put some poles up for the kids, Let them play. They'll come play. And I'm sure the boys will even argue and fight. Who's playing next? One goes off. Things like that would happen, And that's how they improve. And
It is.
And as they get older, the scout might see them when they're playing for their club or whatever. You know what I mean?
I do know exactly what you mean. I grew up playing football on a dirt tennis court in a place called Elderain, just outside Tshwane, and we all played the Portuguese lads, and then we'd play a team of gardeners from down the road, and everyone would play every day on this little dirt tennis court on this Portuguese guy's farm, and from that came players that turned professional in the end. And at a time when all the schools were playing rugby around us, we all went off and played club football because we'd have a tennis court, we'd have a football, and we'd have 2 rickety old goalposts standing there. And that's what I want to know, Sameehg. You're half my age. I want to know that that's still happening in South Africa. You need to tell me it is.
To be honest with you, I don't see like a lot of centers being built.
No, I don't.
In the townships, especially where it matters most, because these boys are so hungry. You can see joking with their plastic bags. Sometimes,
Yeah.
like I'd feel like they remind me of the days when I used to play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
That's exactly what I'm talking about, mate. And that's what people are saying happens in Latin America, that there's facilities, that there's places, that in the favelas and in the, whatever you call them in Argentina, the poor, where the poor people live, there's a place to play football. And that's where you get your Carlos Tevez, tough as nails. That's where you get your Rodriguez, who suddenly emerges from nowhere. Because at the age of 13 or 14, someone said, blimey, look at that lad play. And I'm worried that we don't have that here.
Yeah, and to be honest, I think we should start investing in those type of things, you know what I mean? Because we have everything in South Africa. And, I mean, as a nation, we have to go forward. And you could see, we have the capabilities, you know? But there's a lot of things towards football in South Africa. So...
Yeah, no, I still think it's massive in this country, and that, obviously if we qualified for the World Cup, we'd feel like we were part of this wave, wouldn't we? Now, Sameehg, you've been at SuperSport. Obviously, you started your career in Cape Town. Do you still see? You're now 25, as I understand it. I watched you in a pre-season friendly against Manchester City at the start of last season, and you were making Kolarov look mediocre. And I'm not being funny. It was only pre-season for them. I know it was only a friendly at Loftus, but you had a good game that day. Did anyone come up to you after that game and say, Sameehg, have you ever thought about playing in Europe?
Obviously, that's every player's dream. Okay, every player's dream, the first thing they want to do is play at the World Cup. If they can't play at the World Cup or, then it's Champions League and playing in Europe, you have to dream big, I think that's every footballer's ambition, And, obviously, I still dream about playing in Europe. Still have ambition. I'm still driven. Nothing's going to stop me. I love my sport. I love everything about soccer. Passionate, emotions, everything, you know what I mean?
I do know, and it comes out in the way you play. It comes out, when I watch SuperSport, I mean, there's been changes of coaches and all that kind of thing, but you have the potential as a wide man to get round the best of players. You have pace. Have you got 100-meter time for me? Did you ever run as a sprinter when you were at school?
Yeah, I used to do sports also at my school.
What was your time for 100 meters? Can you remember?
No, I didn't have a time, so...
Okay. You look phenomenally quick to me over about 30, 40 yards. And like I say, you had this Manchester City up against you. And they were only in pre-season at Loftus, but you beat them 2-1 on the day. And you in particular, I tweeted a lot about the fact that you were going past, I'm sure it was Kolarov that you were going past quite easily. Right. Obviously, he's not going to hack you because it's only a pre-season friendly, but you have the pace, you have the talent. Where do you see that going? Where does it go from here?
But like you said, it's pre-season, you can see, as soon as we scored, they started getting frustrated and angry. And that's football. No matter what you do, it can be a friendly match, it can be any match. Even sometimes we play against, pre-season friendlies, a team scores against us. We start to get frustrated. Then we start, playing our game and wanting to win. Because that's footballer's passion. Always wanting to win, always wanting. You never want to be on the losing side. You know what I mean? Yeah,
it doesn't matter if it's a pre-season friendly. It doesn't matter if it's a kick around in a park. At some point, you're going to start to really want to win. And you don't like a player going around you all the time. I absolutely understand that. Exactly. Which, of course, brings me to, have SuperSport United got any big pre-season friendlies lined up after the World Cup? Is there anyone coming? Do you know of?
I'm not sure about that, but I know we're going to Durban next week for pre-season.
Oy.
So we're doing our pre-season there, and we're running a lot. They're monitoring us.
Yeah.
Obviously, with all these, with all this technology thing, with the heart rate monitors and checking our conditioning, if you're recovering, if you're sleeping enough, if you're resting, all those type of things,
But you look to me like one of those blokes who's naturally fit. You don't look like one of those guys who has to fight the weight every summer, or in this case, every winter. Are you naturally fit? Do you naturally keep your weight down, or do you have to watch what you do?
No, I always watch what I eat to maintain, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, look at Ryan Giggs, been playing for how many seasons,
412. Yeah.
Wow, that's
No, I mean, he's always been fit. And I remember going into pre-season, years ago and really struggling with it, really hating it. But it looks to me like there's a couple of players at SuperSport that don't have to go through that pain. You've got a special fitness trainer. I met him one night, didn't I? Is he still with you? Can't remember what his name was.
We got a new one. His name
Oh, you got a new one.
Wade.
Ah.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Is he harsh? Is he like a commandant in the army, or is he a nice guy?
Hey, we're running, man.
That's what scares me. The idea of running every day. Sameehg.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we're preparing for the season ahead, and as you can even see, like those players in the World Cup, they're super fit, eh?
Yeah.
Like
They get stronger. They get stronger towards the end of extra time. That's what I don't understand. Unbelievable. Listen, Sameehg, my very last question. I've run out of time now. It's been great talking to you. All the best for the new season. SuperSport have got the team there. Who do you pick to win the World Cup then? Go on.
I really can't say that.
One of the South American teams, yeah?
Yeah, one of the South American teams this week.
Okay, mate.
I'm sure. Okay.
Sameehg, it's great to talk to you. Get off to training. I've kept you long enough. And good luck today. I hope it isn't too hard.
Okay,
Great stuff. Thanks, Sameehg Doutie. There we have it. Like I say, Comfort, Sameehg Doutie, that day when I was at Loftus, started last season, he actually made mincemeat of quite a few Manchester City big names. And I found it really interesting that there's this lad who, I know about him, but I didn't realise how quick and how skillful he was. And I think people have noticed it. I think there's been interest from foreign clubs and bigger clubs in Sameehg Doutie. SuperSport United need a good season this year. Kevin Johnson's going to be pushing them hard at the start of the season, I would have thought.
SoccerBallz.co.za